Welcome to Scarab of Ra. So last time we played VR Chat, okay, this is the full story. Last time we played VR Chat and we entered that like GeoCities world. It was a very cool world, but one of the things that stuck out to me was this thing called Scarab of Ra. It was on the Apple II section of that world where we were exploring, okay, like the whole Apple side of things, right? With the whole like die Microsoft or something. Or was it on the Linux side? I think it was on the Linux side because Linux was associated with Satanism, whereas Apple is associated with psychopathy. Apparently, Scarab of Ra is a real game, so I was trying to find the word for the longest time. Apparently, it's a bit of an RPG, but for some reason, I have an education level. I have no clue about anything about this game. I just want to check it out really quick for like half an hour, see what it was. And already, there's a bunch of weird things. One, okay, education. I'm an undergrad. I don't know what that means. My condition is good. My prestige is 0. I feel like we're just playing a follow-up to Rose and Camellia, and like this is the scenario 5 of Rose and Camellia, is you need to fight your way out of the labyrinth of like slaps, right? You have a hunger meter, a weight meter. This is probably one of the earliest survival games out there. Which, by the way, this is kind of like a recreation of it, apparently. So, or at least a semi-recreation of it on the internet. I don't know how accurate this is. In fact, I know why it's not accurate. It's because of this. That's how it used to look like, apparently. And obviously, the interface would be fully white and stuff, but you know what? We're in the modern world. We're allowed to have some niceties, like an actual good-looking, UI that doesn't burn your eyes. We have a shotgun. You do not have a dart gun in your inventory. What's this? We have bug spray. You don't have bug spray. We have lamp, food, delicious assortment of breads, dried fruit, and honey. You have 8 ounces of food. How about lamps? An oil-burning lamp that looks kind of like a genie's home. There are 8 pints of oil left in your lamp. Use a burning lamp. You have 8 pints of oil in this can. Okay, what's that? What's this like thing? Save new. Save as Scarab of Ra. Sure. Okay. Well, let's just walk around. View map. Wait, what? Is this a roguelike? There's a key. You found an old rusty key. Pick it up. This feels like Babby's first roguelike. Now, what's interesting about this game is it came out in 1987, so this is probably a very, very old game. It's fascinating to think about how old these games are because, like, chat, it's we learned a lot from game development, right? I think we didn't know much at all, and now we understand what game development is and how to make games fun on like a very, deeper level. Because even if this is like a poor recreation, right? Knowing that this game was in 1987, it wouldn't be remiss of me to believe that this is the actual game. However, it's interesting that this game has a lot of survival elements, which is strange. I actually don't know, why did somebody recreate this entire game? What I really want to know is why someone recreated this entire game in your browser, right? And I wonder, is this just a cheap recreation of the game? Does it actually like play like this? Or is it actually better compared to what we currently have here? But honestly, I can't really see how this could be any better. Because this is exactly what I expected from a game of this age. And it's funny to sort of see game development, like, grow, right? The industry is getting very, very large. Let's pick up both. Because, before, I want to say like a long, long, long time ago, it was kind of hard to get started in the industry. Like, even now, actually, I still think it's kind of weird that you have to, within the industry, you have to, like, go ahead and work for free, basically, to try to get your name out the door. Reminds me of, like, the strange ways that showbiz forces you to work for free to get your foot in the door to even begin, right? Not to say the competition is bad, but, like, it feels a bit almost, oh no, you've burned out all your oil. Oh no, I'll use it. Use my lamp, I can't see shit. But the games industry, it feels exploitative in a way, but not fully, because it's like, are you really exploiting someone if they're just going ahead and doing the thing that they want to like do? But it definitely feels weird to like be in this spot where you need to do a bunch of this work just to be able to do anything. At least now it's a lot easier to release games, but back then I imagine even something like this probably had to go through a significant amount of licensing hell just to get onto like say the Apple II, with how closed off the ecosystem was and how early on it was too. Nowadays, it's a lot easier in like ways and harder. We still have that same feeling, or like we have a huge feeling of like working for like free in terms of like not like game jams, but like the idea of, how do I say this? Proving your worth to teams before you even get a chance to like do anything, which is strange. I wonder how much of that was present back then. But we have a much easier time getting things out live. So, for instance, if you want to get your game, like say you want to get what? You have no. I do have a gun. Oh. Pick up the gun. Use the dart. No, put the dart. Must be fired from a dart gun. You have one dart left. What's that? You feel the floor shift down. A wave of water rushes over. Your map is soaked and unreadable. Oh no. So now, for instance, if you're a single developer, you can skip a lot of the licensing issues. You can just build your game, release it on Steam for $100. That's actually as open as you can possibly get, right? And Steam is a pretty prestigious platform now, like IMO. I think compared to at least other types of platforms, you also get a bunch more tooling that feels a lot better to have as well. You get stuff like, oh, I think your game is automatically signed as long as you upload it and then they like sign it for you, I think. Though don't quote me on that because I haven't checked in a very long time. You also get a bunch of things like, a whole storefront where you actually get to design it and make it look cool and like stuff, and you add like cool graphics to it. In a weird way, the barrier to entry is both lower than it was before in this like early time when we were learning what to do, and also higher at the same time because there's so many of us, right? Like, and I say us because I've been trying to get into this too, but I realized like, man, the competition is huge, right? And I'm not even trying to like compete necessarily. I'm just trying to make something for myself to enjoy. Why do I need a pole? A 10-foot pole, possibly left behind the workers while building the pyramid. What? What? What do you mean? What? But working on it, just stuff, I realized it wouldn't be possible for me to be able to go through the rat race, if that makes sense. You've been poked by a spear, ow. Because the rat race, to me, feels insane that you have to make it an entire game, build your portfolio, go out there. Again, basically do a bunch of free work just to get your foot in in an already very complex field, right? That sure, you pay very little to get started. There's a lot of free ways to get started. But the amount of work that you have to do in terms of raw effort, without any hope of possibly getting paid, is actually pretty intense. And I wonder if there's kind of a way to resolve that, right? I'm reminded of this collective called Sock Pop. They're a collective of people who, make small games, very, very small games, once a month. Anti-poison. You can sign up to the Patreon. This is a very boring game. Yeah, dart gun. Sure, pick up the dart gun. Sure. This is a very boring game. Okay, and I have a key. Okay, cool. Well, that's nice. Where are the monsters? Wait, skeletons. The skeleton just appeared behind me. It said something called skeleton. Oh, no. It was a skeleton key, sorry. Oh, found a sleeping cobra. What if I shoot it? You hit the sleeping cobra, but the dart doesn't seem to have affected it. Oh, because it's asleep. Right. That's stupid. That was stupid. Sorry. That was stupid. Oh, because it's asleep. Like, it's still... I get it. Yeah. Because it's already asleep. You can't put it back to sleep. Yeah. But I find the idea of, like, the Sock Pop Collective to be a pretty cool venture, IMO. Because you're not gambling, effectively, on... Oh, God, I went the wrong way. On... an uncertainty. The uncertainty of having some kind of follow-up to your efforts. You're effectively building a steady stream of content and then, just trying out new concepts and just letting anybody go ahead and, like, try to get their stuff out there. At least as long as they're a part of your collective. I'm assuming you can just join very easily, but I don't actually know. You have so much weight that you can't move. Okay, well, what do I do? Do I need the poles? I don't know if I need the poles. How many guns do I have? Eat the food. You couldn't possibly eat another bite. No thing. I have no thing. Okay, well, what do I do? Anti-poison. First aid kit. Use 1. Use 2. Your experience has granted you an associate's degree in archaeology. I want to point out here, this is the dream of every archaeologist, right? Indiana Jones fooled an entire generation of people into believing that the way to get better at archaeology was to delve into the unknown and fight your way out and defeat the monsters that lurk under the pyramids. You know what's in the pyramids, chat? Mummies. You know what mummies are good for? Making paint. I'm not even kidding you. People used to drink mummies as tea and they make paint out of them. You think I'm joking? Brown paint used to be made out of mummies. They used to eat mummy flesh, and they used to churn the mummies into like a tea powder. So, all you really are, you're just a shitty butcher. You're a butcher who's like 1,000 years too late for your catch. You know what I mean? Like, just Indiana Jones, my ass. Uh-oh. I dropped all the poles. Why do I need so many poles? Oh, but I lost prestige. You gain prestige based on your actions. Okay. So if you have poles, your prestige will grow. But if you have gold, it'll grow easier. Basically, your goal is to find stuff and rob tombs. I feel like a British explorer. Well, let's explore, why not we? Why not? Am I lost? I might be lost. Oh god. This is the one thing that I hate about these old games, is the fact that this like maze-like structure just doesn't work. It just really doesn't work. But yeah, I've been thinking about like the whole game dev thing for a while now. Because again, we're gonna be doing more programming this week. It's a fairly long week for us, so we're a lot of opportunity to get nice and comfortable with my text editor. Now, I don't care about your text editor, okay? I care about my Tessie, which is the name of my text editor. And every good developer should name their text. I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter. But I am curious to see how far we can get in this, right? Because going from small experiments and like basically small gameplay demos is like one thing. But actually trying to go straight to commercial product and doing it, say, like even sock pop style takes a lot of effort. It's found a sleeping lioness. Why is everyone asleep? I want to shoot them. What's the point of a dart gun? Where are the skeletons? Why is a lion living in there? What is this? Okay. You know how, like, Mac users, they say, oh, the Mac can run games. You don't even need the game pointing toolkit by Apple. Why, we have great native Apple games such as Scarab of Ra. It's the best adventure game known to mankind. It's like, dude, all I've done so far is just walk around in like a circle and like find nothing. I'm eating like berries that I find on the floor of like a tomb. This is just Indiana Jones, like the game that's being made by Todd Howard. Like 20 years too early. Maybe he took inspiration from this. You feel the floor shift down. Oops. Poisonous darts. Oh no, I'm poisoned. Okay. Oh, another one. Ow, a spear hit me. Bug spray. Why is there bug spray? Wait. Oops. But yeah, I'm curious to see how far, you know, we can get on this journey together too, because we're going to be making it for ourselves, mainly. It's going to be a lot of stream games that we're making, so just be aware that there's going to be a Resident Sleeper week combined with weird action, like fast-paced games like you just saw today, so it's really going to be a 50-50 of what you see. Was that a spider? The spider was there. But it's gone now. I think if you move too much, the spiders, like, despawn. It's weird and funny. It's like... I mean, it is a fake reality, but the way that it's done is just odd. This is the worst game I've ever seen in my... Is this what people used to play in 1987? What other games were there? Oh my god, chat. You can buy Scarab of Ra 9 Plus on the App Store. For your iPad. Remastered. By Semicolon LLC. They've also made Solitaire Till Dawn and Multi-Deck graphic design. This is a graphic design is my passion game. This has to be a shitpost. Tuck Boxer. What? Tuck Boxer. What? Each level is new, larger, and more random. You must seek the 3 sacred talismans of Ra, the sun god. Games released in 1987. Alright, chat, I'm gonna show you a game released in 1987. Okay? Again, Apple stands when they go like, oh, don't you just love, you know, gaming on the Apple machine? It's so cool. Contra! This was released in 1987. You're telling me you'd rather play Scarab of Ra compared to Contra. I think Apple designers are bankrupt. I'm just kidding. But it is fascinating to see the classic hit Scarab of Ra compared to this thing. I don't know. It feels like a much better genre. What are they? Oh my god. Chat. There are so many good games back in 1987. Punch-Out, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Zelda 2, Dragon Quest 2, the first ever Final Fantasy, Doki Doki Panic, Double Dragon. Why would you ever play Scarab of Ra? You missed. What did I miss? Oh man, Apple fanboys be like, we have the best game ever. Your stupid Nintendo consoles can't even compare to the genius of Steve Jobs. Honestly, I just make fun of Apple people because I understand the joy that, you know, having a good like a good Linux machine brings you. Okay, I will say that Linux as a whole kind of sucks, and that the only good Linux machine is an Apple machine. Well, a good Unix machine technically, but whatever. That's just it's semantics. But even then, if I looked over at the console people, okay, and they were playing Contra, I think I would cry a little. Because saying that the Apple, how much was the wait. What console was this? What was this? Okay, Scarab of Ra. What machine was this released on? Like, what was the first machine? Mac OS Classic. Okay. What were the machines called? Compatibility. Macintosh. System software. God damn it! Show me the goddamn machines. I don't care about the. Show me the. Okay. Wait. So, classic Mac OS machines. Like, what was the machine that like started it? Developed for the Macintosh family. Okay, the Macintosh family of starting with the System 1. Macintosh 128K. Okay, let's see. 1984. This was released in 1987. Okay, Mac 1987. What machine was in 1987? The Mac 2. Macintosh 2 price 1987. Chat. The machine that this game was made for was... No wonder this game was shit! There's nobody playing this game! Costed $5,000. Again, inflation is the incremental increase of a value of currency over a long period of time, which means that $5,000 was equivalent to $14,000 last year. This game, the reason why this game sucks is because nobody, the developers, they never had any other system. I don't even know if they lived in a home anymore because, listen, I don't know if this game sold money, but this game was a shareware game. Why are you making shareware for a machine that costs $5,000, man? By contrast, NES price, 1987. Guess how much? $89. You know what's crazy? This is the weirdest part about emulation, right? Back then, I think people would have been like, "Whoa, you played Scarab of Ra? How was it? I heard from all the Apple fanboys it was so cool, but oh man, I can't afford a Macintosh 2. I can barely pay rent." And it's like, "Huh, and it's like, you can't even pay rent? You haven't even played it? Do you even know what you're missing out on?" Only for years later, for the game to drop in a browser, because who the hell would want to pay $5,000 to play this? To be fair, the Mac computers were always expensive, and they were always made for home computing stuff. And it's not out of line for the price of home computing stuff back then, because, again, this is a time when nobody had, like, really any home computing stuff, so it was, like, still new technology, right? Like, that was when, like, nascent technology was just starting to get off the, like, floor. I'm so fucking lost. This is the worst game ever. I don't want to be here anymore. But wow. What other Mac games? Mac games 1987. Do they have no good games? Bolo. Bureaucracy. There's a game. One of the top Macintosh games in 1987 is a game called Bureaucracy. You can't make this up. Beyond Dark Castle, Crazy Cars, Beyond Zork, Apache Strike, The Ancient Art of War at Sea, Border Zone, The Lurking Horror, 4 more games, Mission Thunderball, The Dungeon Revealed, Crystal Quest, Noid and Bert couldn't make head or tail of it. Well, this is why this is Scarab of Ra, everyone. I don't know why. There's a lot of people that follow this category, actually. There's how many people? There's 38 followers of this category. Why do you guys follow this? Are you the 38 people who could afford a Macintosh 2, and you're trying to, like, you know, relive your childhood fantasies of, like, playing this a game, only to realize that you overpaid $5,000 for a machine that ultimately ended up being nothing? If so, I feel for you, and I'm sorry that happened to you.